So we are talking about immutable structures, and strings were also immutable structures. But the next immutable structure is tuple. So what is the tuple? It is immutable data type in Python because you cannot change the content of a tuple. Rather, you can add the elements, more elements in the tuple. But you cannot change, once this is created, you cannot change the structure of the tuple. And you can apply only uh, concatenation operation on tuple. So the types of tuples इस तरीके की हो सकती है tuples, वो भी एक बार देख लो. So tuple containing same type of data, number one. Like first example, a is equal to 45, 67, 89. So obviously they are the integers or the whole numbers, and whole numbers are counted in integers, right? So first example of tuple is a set of integers. Secondly, you must notice that all the elements 45, 67, and 89, all the three elements are enclosed within the rounded braces or rounded brackets, or you can say the parenthesis. So first example is a collection of integers, and the integers are enclosed within the parenthesis, number one. Number two, see here, 67.5, 92.5, 87.5, 45.0. Now obviously they are the real numbers, or you can say they are the float numbers or float values. The third example, we have enclosed three words, and all words are put in the parenthesis, that is red, yellow, green. There are three words, and these words belong to the color. So C is equal to C matlab color is equal to red, yellow, green, all strings. So this could be the tuple. Next, tuple might contain different types of data. Okay, so see the example, D is equal to parenthesis 12 is integer, Amar string, 3400.50, this is the float value, and that is why this is the collection of different types. There could be a bool element also. I mean, if you write 12 Amar 3400.50 comma true comma false, true and false are the bool values, right? So this way you can create the tuple. There are so many concepts you can say which we have to understand here. Very minute points which we should keep in our mind to recognize a tuple. See here, as I have told you that the tuple is always enclosed within the parenthesis. But over here, you will observe, even though I have included all the values in parenthesis, yet they are not the tuples. See, A is equal to 123. This value is in parenthesis. Second part, B is equal to 3.45. Again, the float value, and it is in parenthesis. Amar is a value, but this is a string, and again this is in parenthesis. D is equal to true, bool value, but this value is also enclosed within the parenthesis. E is equal to parenthesis, which is the notation of tuple. So if you want to know the type of all these identifiers, so I have taken print type A, print type B, print type C, print type D, and print type E. Then the output should be, okay, this is simply integer, this is simply a float entity, this is a string, this is bool, and this is tuple. But ये चारों जो ऊपर हैं, they are not the tuples, because यहाँ पर आपको दिखाई दे रहा है. So first element is int, second element is float, third element is string, fourth element is bool, and fifth element is tuple. So over here, see this statement. The single valued content enclosed inside round braces or parentheses does not make it a tuple, as the data type of single valued content is going to be considered as the data type of the single value of the content. Since I have enclosed 123 in parentheses, but it does not signify that this is a tuple. So this slide and the content of this slide you should keep in mind कि हर वैल्यू जो हम टपल की तरह से ले रहे हैं, the value which we are taking as tuple cannot always be the tuple structure, right? So they are the single valued entities, but they are not tuples. Okay, next, see some assignment and traversal, how to assign an identifier to a tuple. So in the first line, this is comment, tuple containing same type of data. And the second line, I have assigned an identifier to this tuple. A is equal to 45, 67, 89, 35, and 12. And all the values are enclosed in parentheses. And one significant point is related to string, related to list, related to tuple, is every element in these structures is assigned an unique index. The same is applied to string, the same is applied to the tuple, and same is applied to list structure also. As 45, 67, 89, 35, and 12, there are 5 values, and every value is assigned a unique index. Like 45 will possess 0 index, 67 will possess 1 index, 89 will possess 2 index, and so on. So index of 35 is 2, index of 35 is 3, and index of 12 is 4. So see in the same example, A0 and A3. The way we have been using the list or the element of the particular index, the same way we are using the element of the tuple also. Is A square bracket 0, A square bracket 3, it means I am using 45 and 35. 0 index 45 and 3 index 35. That is why the output is 45 and 35. And see here, if I use A in square brackets, len of A का मतलब length of tuple A. So length of tuple A is how much? 5. So 5 minus 4, 5 minus 1 is 4, and A4 will be your 12. A4 is your 12. See this print statement. In this print statement, we are adding the values. We are adding the values of index 0 and 1. So 0, 1 index values are 45 and 67. So when you add 45 and 67, it will give you 112, comma, A2 and A3. So what is A2? A2 is 89 and A3 is 35. So when you add these two, it will give you 124. So this way some
सर
operations can be applied on. जब मैं ये कहूँ ना पूछो.
ठीक है
And the next is for I in A. What is A? Is a tuple. A is a tuple, and I am accessing the element of the tuple. So this way I am using this structure with for I in A means every time it will take one element from structure tuple. So if I say for I in A, so in first attempt it will take 45, second attempt it will take 67, and so on. And when I use print statement to print the value, whichever acquired by the variable I will be printed along with the dash sign. So first value is 45 and followed by dash. So 45 dash. Since AND manipulator is used here, that is why the next value will be printed besides the first value. Okay, so first value is 45 minus, second value is 67 minus, third value is 89 minus, fourth value is 35 minus, and fifth value is 12 minus. This way, this structure can be used with for loop. So I am directly using tuple structure along with the for. So this is the variable which will take its a value from tuple from index 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, these indexes are uh, assigned to each element of the tuple. So that is why it will I will use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever value on these indexes will be printed. Next line. Now, in addition to that, I automatically take 0, 1, 2, 3 because it is using this structure of tuple. But over here, we deliberately said that I am using the index 0, 1, 2, 3 since we are using the range. For C in range, len of A, so length of A is 5. So it will start from 0 and will go up to 4. Okay, so it will this will print the first value, that is A0. What is A0? 45, followed by hash sign, that is 45 hash. And you must be knowing that the next value will also be printed in the same line. So 45 hash, the next value on index 1 is 67, then hash, third value 89 and hash, and so on. So this is the content of this slide. Now if you want to ask anything, please ask.
सेकंड वाले प्रिंट को फिर से एक्सप्लेन करना
Which second?
प्रिंट ए लेंथ ए -1
Length of A what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 5 elements in the tuple. So length of A will be 5. So 5 minus 1, 4. A4 is 12. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. A4 is 12. So this is 12 here.
ओके सर
Okay. And the next, anybody else? Okay, we are taking the next element.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir,
Yes.
I need to ask sir, वो लास्ट की सर जो दो लाइन है उनमें बेसिक डिफरेंस क्या है सर? दोनों का आउटपुट तो सेम है सर.
Which
Like whether
lines?
we use for I in range A, sir. Sir, ये वाला sir. For I in range A
I
or
know
for C in A.
there's no difference. But my aim is to tell you how to access the entire object and how to use range along with the for this structure. So I can
Okay,
use
sir.
range as well as I can use the structure directly.
So sir, we can use either way
Clear?
from these, right?
Yes, either way of these two.
Okay, sir.
See here, the question must be in your mind that we cannot apply the arithmetic operations with tuples, but over here I am going to do that. So how is it possible? So we'll see that. Say one tuple is 23 and 45, that is a tuple. Other tuple is 50, 60, and 70. So we have two tuples here. Now in third line, C is equal to A plus B. As I have told you that we cannot apply any arithmetical operations on tuples. So over here, you should mind that 23 will not be added to the corresponding index of second element of the tuple 2. That is 23 plus 50. It is not possible. Similarly, 45 and 60 will not be executed. For 70, there is no corresponding element in tuple A. It means, what does this statement show? C is equal to A plus B. So what is the result of C is equal to A plus B? And what should be the result of A plus B? Since I have already told you that tuples can be concatenated, not the corresponding elements will be added. Or any mathematical operation cannot be applied to any element of the tuple. So see here, it is clearly written here, plus operator can be used to concatenate the two tuples, whereas minus into floor division, modulo, and exponentiation are not supported to perform operations on two tuples. इस चीज को आप अपने दिमाग में रख लीजिए और गांठ बांध लीजिए कि ये चीज ऐसा होता है. When you say print C, so 2, 3, 4, 5, any 23, 45 content of tuple A, 50, 60, 70 are the contents of B. So when you concatenate these two, it will give you 23, 45, 50, 60, and 70. So this is the output. First output is this. Next, B is equal to A means we have put second tuple first, and we have concatenated tuple A to B. So the output should be, when you print D, 50, 60, 70, 23, and 45. So this is the output. Right? Now, झोल यहाँ पर देखते हैं. NML is equal to, there are two strings and this is the tuple of two names, Anu and Jack, and we have defined NML tuple with the values Anu and Jack. And in the next statement, n is equal to nml, nml यानी अणु n j. We are concatenating this tuple nml with Lee and Hope. So the values of n will be Anu, J, Lee, and Hope. So when you print it, it will give you output Anu, J, Lee, and Hope. Next example, M is equal to Ken and Tep. So we have two strings again in tuple form. Plus we are adding the n. What is n? N is Anu, J, Lee, and Hope. So if I concatenate n to can and tap, the output should be can, tap, Anu, J, Lee, and Hope when you print this. Hope this is clear. But the last example shows some error. And what is the error? This is type error. Because 10 is assumed as a tuple, as we are considering 10 as tuple. Jan is also we are considering as tuple, but tuples cannot be as we have seen in the earlier example. We have declared a is equal to 1 2 3, c is equal to Amar, and so on. But those were integers, float, and strings. The same is applied here. 10 is in parenthesis, but there is only one value. Zen is in the parenthesis, but it is also the single value. NML is okay. NML is okay because NML is Anu and Jan. ये सही है. But 10 and Jen जो हमने टपुल कंसीडर किया है, ये हमारा सोचना बिल्कुल गलत है. तो ये strings हैं and strings cannot be concatenated to tuples. And that is why it gives the type error. Hope this is clear. And the explanation of this is given here. 10 and Jen are independently single values inside round braces. Means 10 is a string, Jen is also a string, but this is not. But either 10 or Jen, both are not tuples, cannot be considered as tuples, and that is why it is giving the type error. So will be considered as strings and not tuples. ये आपका जो second statement है वो आपको ये बता रहा है. So will be considered as strings, not tuples. So 10 and Zen, they are not two tuples. They are simply strings, 10 and Zen. So it cannot be concatenated into tuples. See, the string which I mean slide which you see and you think this is for my consideration or for future use, you can take the screenshot of the slide. Even I'll link this video and share this video to you in the classroom. Okay, but for your sake, if you want to take the screenshot of the slide, you can take it. Okay, so we are moving ahead. Repetitions and tuples. So this is tuple repetition. I have one tuple, color, call is equal to red and blue. We have included two elements in tuple call, red and blue. Then observe the second statement. Print call multiply by 2. It means we are going to repeat the tuple. This is repetition. So when you apply into any multiplication with the tuple is repeated. So the value of call is red blue. So when you multiply it by 2, so it will give you red blue, red blue. So it is clearly mentioned here. Asterisk operator can be used for repetition of the content of the tuple. So the content of the tuple are red and blue. So when you multiply this string, tuple with 2, it will produce red, blue 2 times. Red, blue times. Now next example, num is equal to 1, 2, 3. This is tuple. And you must have noticed if in last slide, when there were 10 and zen, they were giving the error, type error. But here I have used red and blue likewise, but it is not giving any error. And it is being treated as the tuple. So did you observe this? कि लास्ट टाइम पर हमने देखा तो टपल नहीं था, हमने बोला कि स्ट्रिंग है. अब यहां पर वही चीज हमने अप्लाई कर दिया, रेड एंड ब्लू. नाउ यू आर सेइंग कि दिस इज अ टपल. तो आपने कुछ ऑब्जर्व किया यहाँ पर, रेड ब्लू कॉल.
सर वो तो अलग अलग लिखे हुए थे ना, अलग अलग ब्रैकेट्स में.
अलग अलग ब्रैकेट्स में
तो वो तो एरर देगा ही ना. तो सिंगल को तो वो सिंगल को तो स्ट्रिंग ही मानेगा, लेकिन यहाँ पे दो रेड और ब्लू हमने एक ही ब्रैकेट में दिए तो उसको टपल मानेगा.
ओके, गुड गुड. एंड इन द सिमिलर वे वी हैव 3 वैल्यूज 1, 2, 3. And since there are more than one integers 1, 2, 3, so this is also be treated as the tuple. So when you apply operation 3 into num is repeated 3 times. So the value of num is 1, 2, 3, and that is why 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is repeated. So the result tuple is this. Okay, any query in your mind? No. Next, over here you will face.
सर ऐसा नहीं कर सकते हम कि जैसे हमने एक टपल बनाया 1, 2, 3 का, फिर प्रिंट कराने से पहले हमने जैसे मतलब प्रिंट करवाया तो पहले हमने टपल को इंट में कन्वर्ट नहीं कर सकते, टपल की वैल्यूज को.
That is another operation.
हो जाएगा ना
Try.
लूप लगाकर.
Yes.
ठीक है.
ठीक है.
एक बार सर वो वाला बता.
When I ask, do you have any problem? Then you don't ask. What is the problem?
सर वो सिंगल, सर वो डबल ही आ रहे थे उसमें.
हाँ?
सर वो वाली जो वो आपने बनाया नहीं था वो पैटर्न बनाने के लिए असाइनमेंट में.
Now we are discussing tuple.
सर आपने बोला था क्लास में
We'll
बता
ask
दूंगा.
later. If you have any query related to tuple, please ask. Don't ask about assignment. Don't ask whatever we have done yesterday. No. So we are discussing the current topic, that is tuple. So ask about the tuple only, not any other structure. Since we have focused on the tuple entirely, so we cannot discuss anything else other than the tuple. So I am giving you here, there is a problem. Find out what is the problem here. This is a question for you. Do you think there is a problem? But yes, I think there is a problem. And the explanation of that problem is given here. L is a tuple declared as a tuple, and you are adding the new value to enhance the tuple. So you are taking an integer and you are adding this integer to the tuple L. And finally, you are printing because we have to take three values. So we are going to create the tuple of three values, three integers. But over here, before printing, it gives an error. What is the error? This is the error. So how to overcome this error, or what should be the solution? It should come in our mind, not what I had given in the assignments. Please tell me this. No. So while I am taking the lecture, only ask the question related to the topic only. Now, what should be the solution of this problem? Because when you run this program, it will show you some error. This is type error. Suppose I have given 5. मैंने 5 दिया, लेकिन क्या हो गया? Type error आ गया. So why is this error? Because the function of input we are taking and it is valid statement, but still it is giving problem, and the problem is type error. So what should be the solution? See here, it is not possible to concatenate a single valued content enclosed inside the round braces to be concatenated in tuple. So whatever you are giving through this statement cannot be concatenated to L. And in this case, the data type will be considered as int, not tuple. So over here, you are giving integer, and integer is not tuple. So it will show error, type error. Because and so the type error exception will be raised here. So this is the exception type error. So how to overcome this situation? So very simple. This could be the situation. Code to L is equal to your tuple. Now L plus बिल्कुल similar है, except we have put in comma in the end. हमने लास्ट में इस एलिमेंट को इनपुट कराने के बाद ये कॉमा लगा दिया. अब ये वर्क कर जाएगा. तो फर्स्ट टाइम I give value 5, second time I give value 10, third time I give 15, and there is no error. And finally, when you print L, it will show you 5, 10, and 15. Now ask about this operation if you have any query.
सर लूप में तो सर लूप लगाया था हमने, तो उसको तो सर वहां पे हमसे वैल्यू 3 बार मांगनी चाहिए थी ना. यहाँ पे कॉमा लगाने के बाद वो 3 बार वैल्यू मांग रहा है.
हाँ, बिकॉज वो ऑलरेडी ऐसा इसलिए कि ऑपरेशन इज tuple is equal to tuple plus integer, which is not possible.
हाँ.
So whatever you are taking, this should be the tuple. So over here, when you put comma here, it becomes tuple. When it becomes tuple, it can be concatenated. So it will not show any error, but over here it will show the error.
तो सेकंड में से अगर हम इंटीजर देंगे तो भी वो ले लेगा वैल्यू. तो
बिल्कुल ले लेगा, बिल्कुल ले लेगा. Now when you remove integer int from here, the next element will be the word string. So whatever you give, this will be concatenated to the tuple. Suppose करिए कि if I give here 1, I mean say 5, 10, and then say your name Bhupinder without this type. So all the elements will be treated as the strings. If I omit int here, then the values which you are going to input will be treated as a string. So this would be the tuple of strings. So you try this on your system and find out bug and find out the solution. Right?
Okay,
Next.
sir.
Next. Again, concatenation. I have to take three sets of values. I have to take three sets of values, and in each set, I have to take two inputs. S is equal to input first, T is equal to input second. So over here, I am taking uh, two strings at a time. So total strings which we are going to input are 6. Because in one attempt, in one iteration, I have to get two values in, first and second. So when you concatenate this tuple to this tuple variable, this will be concatenated, and hence first time I have taken A, second B. In second iteration, I have taken C and D. And third iteration, I am taking E and F. So when I print this tuple, it will print A, B, C, D, E, F. This is the complete tuple. So from previous slide, this is the only difference. In the next slide, we have taken two values at the same time in one iteration. That is why comma is there. Comma is there. So no error will persist. But if it would have been the single value and without comma, then there is a problem. So to separate or to distinguish the elements of the tuple, comma is a must between the two elements. So I have enclosed two values s and t, and s and t in parentheses. Now it will be treated as the tuple. But if I would have taken only s, and here if I would have said L plus is equal to S only and parenthesis close, then it would have raised the error, type error. Okay, next. Again, this is the problem because tuple is immutable structure, and we are checking the immutability here. What I am doing here, I wanted to add 2 to each element of the tuple. I wanted the resultant tuple like 23 plus 2, that is 25, 45 plus 2, 47, 67 plus 2, 69, 78 plus 2, that is 80. But it cannot be done. It is not possible because as I, since I have declared one tuple here and printed it, so this is the output here 23, 45, 67, 78. Now see this loop, observe this loop for I in range length of A. So length of A is 4. So 0 to 3 this loop will run. And I am doing A0 is equal to A0 plus 2. So A0 is 23, 23 plus 2. As soon as this statement is encountered, it raised the exception. This is type error. Means it cannot change the immutability of the tuple. You cannot make the tuple mutable. That is why it is error. Hope this slide is clear to you. Next, what we can do with the tuple and what we cannot. We cannot apply append function, extend method, insert method, remove method, pop method, reverse method, sort method. These methods we cannot apply on tuple, but we can apply the methods on tuple: len, count, index, min, max, sum, type, whether sorted or not. This is possible. These functions are possible. So this should be kept in your mind. Keep in mind, so what are those methods which we can apply on tuple, and what are those methods which we cannot apply on the tuple. Now the next slide is a problem for you. So you will have to run this on your system and observe the output. Slicing, tuple slicing. So I am not going to explain the slide. Only I am giving you like if I am using A04. A04 means index 0, 1, 2, 3. That is 23, 43, 56, and 89.
कर तो दी एक्सप्लेन सर।
एक ही किया है, आगे नहीं कर रहा।
बाकी बाकी सब हो गए ना अपने स्लाइसिंग में, तो वे सब समझ आ ही जाएगा।
Okay, so this is the concept of tuple, and with this tuples are finished, and we'll take either list or dictionary uh, in the next session, and the video I'll share in your classroom, and if you want to see this again, you can see it. Okay, any question if you want to ask? Any question if you want to ask?
No, sir.
कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है? So over here we have Sugam, Tanu, Utkarsh, Anish, Vipender, Ikshita, Naman, Shalini, and Soni Chaudhary. Okay, so that's all for today, right?
Thank you, sir.
बाय सर।
Bye.
Thank you, sir.